I said, Stan, don't worry, it's not going to be like last night. I'm feeling way more relaxed than last night, although I stand by everything I said about Manchester United. But look, the situation is with United, we've got a game tomorrow that we've got to win. I've just watched Leicester beat Arsenal, and the bottom line is, we'll talk about Eriksen, we'll talk about this offer that Juventus want to do, 4 players for Pogba. But the bottom line is, I've just watched Leicester beat Arsenal, and United, Spurs and Arsenal were just not good enough. That's, there's no agendas, there's no Ollie out, there's no Glazer out, whatever. The reality is the cold, harsh fact, and I feel very relaxed tonight because I've had a good day and I've watched a good match of football and I feel relaxed. We're not good enough. I watched Arsenal go 2-0 down and Leicester just passed them off the park. I watched Leicester score 2 goals. And there was a tweet on the United stand about an hour ago and it said, let's be honest, top 4's gone. We just don't have the consistency to go and close a 9-point gap on Chelsea or Leicester. And a lot of the replies were like, well, to be honest, we didn't expect to get top 4 anyway. But who expected Leicester to get top 4? You can't have the cake and eat it. Like, you can say, I said I don't think we're going to get top 4 with not buying midfielders. But on the other hand, I didn't expect Leicester and Chelsea to get top 4. My prediction was Liverpool, Man City, Spurs and Arsenal based on money spent and quality of squads. I thought they were the 4 best squads. I thought Chelsea, new manager, transfer ban, no Hazard, they're going to struggle to get top 4. Leicester, I thought they'll be 7th, they won't get in the top 4. So we can quite rightly say, why are people moaning about top 4? We knew we weren't going to get top 4 anyway. But it's a flawed argument in many ways. I agree. I never said we were going to get top 4. I thought we didn't buy midfielders, we're going to struggle. But the teams that are in the top 4, Chelsea and Leicester, they've shown that lack of transfers, transfer bans, being a small club, having a small fan base, having small revenue, it doesn't matter if you've got good coaching and good players. And that is the embarrassment for Spurs and Arsenal and United tonight, is that Leicester are miles and miles. They're not. The thing with Leicester is, and Chelsea to a certain extent, is they're not where they are by luck. They are better than us. And I know we beat Leicester at Old Trafford, but we parked the bus and got a penalty. We didn't go and batter Leicester. They were as good as us at Old Trafford. Tonight, at home, they've beaten Arsenal. They're the better team. I've seen them beat Spurs. They're the better team. They're a better team than Spurs, Arsenal and United. And that's a damning fact for 3 big clubs tonight. So we're not getting top 4. We're not going to go on that sort of run. And we can hide behind future and we can hide behind youth and we can hide behind we'll be all right in 3 years. But what I would say to Mr. Woodward and Mr. Glazers is this. You can hide behind the future as long as you like, because the future never comes. Are Leicester City hiding behind the future? A year ago, their owner died in a tragic accident. In February, they replaced their manager. Now, in November, they are comfortably in the top 4. They sold one of their best players in the summer. What excuse have Leicester got for being in the top 4 and we haven't? You can talk about the future all you like. Leicester have been through the mill in the last 12 months and they are now one of the best teams in England. Manchester United, what's our excuse? It's not good enough. It isn't good enough for Arsenal either, and it isn't good enough for Spurs. So, yeah, I agree. I said we wouldn't get top 4 this season, but I think it's embarrassing that we're not when Chelsea and Leicester are bucking the trend and proving that good coaching and good players gets you into the top 4. Who me? Way more relaxed. Glass of red. Leicester under Rodgers is the blueprint that you do not need to spend millions upon millions to get a good football team motivated and playing well. Yeah. The problem Manchester United have and the problem Leicester have is... not Leicester. The problem Man United have and the problem Arsenal have, and to a certain extent Spurs have, they haven't got good enough managers and they haven't got good enough players. Arsenal tonight, you'll get Pratt in the hat on AFTV going in on Emery, and that's stupid. And I would say the same about any United fan if we were to lose against Sheffield United or Brighton. Ollie out, Ollie out. It's idiocy, and this is why fans don't get listened to, because you will just go, let's sack Emery, let's sack Ollie. But the reality is, I watched that Leicester game tonight. Yeah, sack Emery, he's probably not the right man. You also need to sell 10 of your players. Oh no, Aubameyang liked my post on Insta, so I'm never going to go on him and I'm going to live up his arse with my hat on. No, he was shit tonight. And most of your team was rubbish tonight as well. But, we'll just be Emery out and expect I love Arsenal fans. I think they're so flip-flop. It's amazing. And I get on with some Arsenal fans and they're very intelligent, but some of them are really stupid. They think Jose Mourinho is going to solve their problems. Jose Mourinho, Mr. Short-termism, who needs hundreds of millions of pounds and plays part-of-the-bus football. Yeah, I can see him doing really well at Arsenal. Really, really well. But crack on, that's their problem. The reality is with United, whether it's Ollie or not, the players ain't good enough either. So yeah, look, let's talk about Eriksen because he is the headline, and we've sort of gone on a tangent because of the Leicester result, and I want to get into the live comments as well. So there's this story floating around that United are going to go for Eriksen in January, about £40 million. He's available for free in the summer. He wants to go to Spain, but I don't think the Spanish clubs really want him because, let's call a spade, he's been dreadful this season, absolutely dreadful this season, and I think that. I wanted to put it to you because I listened to you. I think you are the best soundboard for anything to do with Manchester United because you come on here, you know what the United stand's all about. We'll say it how it is. We're not always right, but we're passionate and we're fans and we say it how it is. So what do you think about Christian Eriksen to Manchester United? Because I'll tell you what I think. I think no. Like, it's an Asda version of Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez was a very, very good player. He was finished and he was a bad signing. Christian Eriksen is 28 in February. He's been atrocious. I've seen him play 5 times this season for Spurs, and he's been atrocious. And that, to me, is a player you don't go near. If you've got evidence of a player whose head isn't right or is looking elsewhere and he's playing badly, forget about it. I wouldn't take Ozil for 10 quid. Like, he's a good player, but I saw Ozil again tonight, and when his head's not in the game, he don't play. That's not a future. That's not a vision. It's an elastoplast. Going and getting good players who turn up when they want to is not what Manchester United should do. I would rather play Pereira and Lingard than sign an Eriksen or an Ozil, because these are evidential players who have down tools. You know, why would we sign Eriksen? Oh, because he might suddenly switch and be good again. Why do you think Real Madrid don't want him? So again, we're going to look at a cast-off that Real Madrid don't want. We're going to spend 40 million on him because really, when he plays well, he's an 80 million pound player. But hello, he's been absolutely atrocious. I watched him against Everton last week. Awful. Absolutely dreadful player. But he's going to solve our midfield problems. Give me a break. You know, it's not the sort of signing we should do, I don't think. But let's have a look what you say. Well, look. Ash MUFC says Eriksen is Sanchez all over again. Get Maddison. Jose Frias says ESPN said best club for Mbappe is Manchester United. ESPN are just full of plonkers, really, to be honest with you. I don't read ESPN. He's the Danish matter, says Archie Barker. Eriksen is a class act, but something really bad going on behind the scenes at Spurs. Why you think Pochettino wants out, says Gavin Gold. Look, Eriksen is a good player, but to be honest with you, when somebody exposes their weakness, I back off. Like, United need strong characters. They need leaders. They don't need players that when things are not going right for them, they back off. And look, Eriksen on his day is good, but the last 6 months for Spurs, he's been atrocious. Why? Probably because he wants to move. What about if he comes to United and he falls out with a player or it doesn't go his way? He's exposed a weakness. He is not what we need at United. Let's get Ziyech, De Beek and Haaland, says Monish. Hey, mate, if we did that, I'd be over the moon. I'd be over the moon with those sort of players, and that's exactly what we should be looking at. But look, I don't rate Eriksen as a signing for United. He is a good player, but he's been dreadful lately, and it's just Eriksen. It's Sanchez all over again. We're buying on reputation and not on recent form, and that I think that's a big mistake for United. Who says Eriksen on his day is a super footballer. He's a true footballer, skill and great eye for a pass who can unlock a defence. This season he has been awful. On form, would not touch with a barge pole. Exactly, and that's the problem. I think he's a very good player, but we need, somebody just said there, Maddison or Eriksen. Who's the better player? I think Eriksen's a better player than Maddison on ability, but Maddison's got that trajectory. He's not had the bad form. He's 22, 23. Tonight he was fantastic. I think he's a very, very good player. I would go for Maddison every day of the week and Sunday over Eriksen. But will United just go for the cheaper option? And this is the thing, isn't it? I don't want to go into what I spoke about last night. Manchester United are not a football club. They're a business. So what are they going to do? 80 million for Maddison or 40 million for Eriksen? You know what they're going to do. They're going to go for that. And you need to keep your eyes open about this. 50 million for Haaland, 7 million for Mandzukic. What they're going to do. You know what they're going to do. 80 million for Maddison, 40 million for Eriksen. You know what they're going to do. We're not a football club, we're a bank, and that's the problem. As a Liverpool fan, I feel really bad for you, says Marcus Kievan. I wouldn't feel too bad about it, mate. You know, you've not won a title in 30 years. We've won loads, so, you know, I wouldn't feel bad for us. I'd look at your own club. And other than Mario Mandzukic, do you think any other January signing is realistic? We need a midfielder. We are another injury away to not get Europa League. Jose, you know what the problem is, Jose Gonzalez, and I really appreciate that point. Oh, can I just say as well, I should have said this at the start. I'm going to get in trouble with Flex and Rants. Link in the video description for the Christmas party. I have had a glass of wine and I've had a beer because That's Football hit 100,000 subscribers tonight. So I'm feeling a little bit relaxed. But the United Stand Christmas party on the Thursday, the 5th of December at Hotel Football is going to be more of this. Meet and greet, beers, drinks, fun, chat. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. The London event was fantastic. Loads of people who watched the United Stand from all over the UK and all over Europe. And we even had people from LA coming over, just getting together and having a chat. It's going to be a right good night. So make sure you get yourself down. It's only a tenner for a ticket. You get a free drink when you're there. You're going to meet people from the community. You're going to meet me if you want to. Flex, Rants, Saeed will be there. Aaron will be there. Adam will be there. Everyone off the United Stand. It's going to be fantastic. So make sure you get yourself down there. I know it's Christmas and you're thinking, I can't be asked to go to Manchester, but it's right next to Manchester United as well. So it's not just about, you know, United Stand meet up. We'll do a live show, interactive, meet and greet, chats. Everything will be fantastic. But also, it's literally, you could spit. Don't ever spit at Old Trafford. I'll never talk to you again. But literally, from where the party is, you can see it outside. We can go and do photos. It's going to be a fantastic night. Link in the video description for that. I can't drink beer. I'm a kid, says the Vectro. Good. Don't drink beer if you're a kid. United midfield needs to level up. Wouldn't you take Eriksen and get loose of Lingard? MK. I think that's one of the best comments of the night so far. But you think you've got to be very, very careful with that sort of a comment. Eriksen's better than Lingard, so let's take him. That's the sort of silly decisions that will get United nowhere. Oh, somebody's better than somebody, so let's sign them. How about you think like Liverpool, or you think like Manchester City, or you think like Real Madrid? You go and get the best. You don't get somebody who's just better than the crap that you've already got. You go and get the best you can get. We know that Maddison wants to come to Manchester United. We know that Bruno Fernandes would come to Manchester United. You've got two players there who are better than Eriksen. Don't get Eriksen. Werner, Sancho, Maddison, Partey needed next, says Ash MUFC. You are drunk. Sancho is not going to come to Manchester United. Maddison, Partey and Werner, maybe. But you know what? This is where, as a football club, I was thinking about this earlier. And because I'm in a relaxed mood, I will do it. I watched James Maddison today for Leicester, right? Where's the best place for James Maddison? Manchester United or Leicester? It's Leicester. Rodgers is a better manager than Ollie. Leicester are a better team than Manchester United, and Leicester are higher up the league than Manchester United. The only reason James Maddison comes to Manchester United is because we're Manchester United and we'll pay him more money. I'm not saying he would come for mercenary reasons or he'd just come in for money. Manchester United is a huge club. Leicester never will be. But the best place for him is Leicester. And I just thinking hypothetically, if somebody said to James Maddison tonight, Leicester are going to let you go, you can be a United player tomorrow on double your money, would you go? I think he would go. And I thought, how wrong is that? How wrong is that? He shouldn't come anywhere near United tomorrow because the best place for him is Leicester. But that's how we're going to start getting players. That's how we got Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's probably looking at Leicester. And look, I don't get this Harry Maguire thing. Harry Maguire's a flop. What a load of nonsense. Harry Maguire's been good for us. He's having a little bit of a, I wouldn't even say bad form. He's looked a little bit uneasy the last couple of games, but not bad. And he's been decent for us. And he's been a good signing. And you've got people saying Leicester did well to get rid of him. Look, I watched Leicester-Arsenal, and Leicester will concede goals because Arsenal are terrible, but when they got in the box, they looked a threat. Johnny Evans, I totally agree with us selling Johnny Evans. He's a really good professional footballer, but he ain't Harry Maguire. Solanke's good, or Solanke, I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but Leicester would be a better team with Harry Maguire in it. 100%. So I don't know where people are getting off saying Harry Maguire's a bad signing, and Leicester are better off without him. But he is the example of what we'll probably do with Maddison next year. He's going to leave a club that's better than the club he's coming to. And he's going to do it because he wants to come to a big club and better himself. But I bet Harry Maguire sat there tonight thinking, I made the right move because I've come to Manchester United and it's a huge club and it's better for me as England's centre-back. But he's probably sat there tonight going, it's a funny old game, isn't it? Leicester are better than us. I'm glad we're not playing Leicester away anytime soon because they'll beat us. They're better than us. They're better than Arsenal and they're better than Spurs and they deserve to be where they are. And they're a great team to watch. Rob Cobros Aitkins says, don't want Eriksen. If we go for him, we should have gone for Bruno. We are supposed to pick our number one target and stick to that. Anything else would make ignoring Bruno for the number one target wrong. And let's not forget with Christian Eriksen as well, we were in for him in the summer and he decided no. He wanted to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't want him anymore, so he might come to us. It's the same as going back in for Dybala. You've got to be very careful with that. You want players that want to come to the club. And to be fair, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire and Dan James wanted to come to the club. Sionko is more mobile but can do all the other things just as well as Maddison. He can't. He's a centre-back, mate. I don't know why. You started off well. I thought you were talking about Maguire. I think you meant Maguire. Mark, I think we should go for Lautaro Martinez, says Gunjet. Let me just mention this to you as well. This was a story from Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy. And they said that Juventus would like to do a 4-player swap with United. A 4-player, I've never heard of a 4-player swap, so this would be a world first. But I just wanted to put it to you lot. So effectively, it would be Pogba for Mandzukic, Emre Can, Rajani, and Matuidi. One thing I would say is that doesn't even add up to half of what Pogba's worth because Emre Can's 30 million. Mandzukic is about 5 million, Matuidi is about 20 million, and Rajani is probably about 30 million. So that doesn't hit 90 million, does it? So that doesn't work anyway. Mandzukic is finished. Emre Can I would take. Rajani would be a massive risk because when has an Italian defender ever done well in the Premier League? And Matuidi's about 42 as well. So no. I don't know where that story's coming from, but that also, I don't think even United are that stupid. Taking players like that, no. Emre Can I would take because we're desperate, but I wouldn't take any of the other three. Do not think Brighton will go all out, but I do see them counter-attacking with the front three. Is this a game for Mata to unlock their sturdy defence? How will we play against a team like this at home, says Humi. I'm very excited about the game tomorrow, Humi. Very excited about the game tomorrow. I'm excited to see what Brighton are like because I'll put my hands up and say I'm quite rude about Brighton. I thought they'd get relegated this year, and I don't think they're a very good side, but they obviously are better than I thought. So I'm quite intrigued to say. I just want I think there's nothing better than Brighton coming to Old Trafford tomorrow and playing well and we win. That's the best. That's the win-win situation. I want Brighton to come and play as well as they can, and I want us to beat them because that's progression. That's a step forward. So that's what I want to happen tomorrow. My concern tomorrow, and let's talk about tomorrow a little bit. My concern tomorrow against Brighton is that, and it feels like years ago, but it was literally 2 nights ago. We watched United beat Partizan Belgrade with basically our best team. I'm worried about the fitness of McTominay. I'm worried about the fitness of Fred because they played. And I'm worried about Martial and Rashford because they played. And I'm worried about Maguire. I'm worried about our fitness levels tomorrow. We've got to win tomorrow. I'm not... And I know I said this against Newcastle and Bournemouth, so I don't really want to say the words and jinx it. But this is not me saying this. This is everybody saying this. Although I am saying it as well. We will win tomorrow because we have to win tomorrow. We can't afford not to. I think we're 14th in the league. If we lose, we'll definitely be 15th because Wolves and Villa are behind us. We've got to win tomorrow. I can't see... And I think even if we do, Sheffield United after the international break, bloody hell, you don't fancy that. So I don't think Ollie's out of any woods if he beats Brighton tomorrow. I think if he loses tomorrow... And I'll just drop this in here because it's in the middle of the video and we're amongst friends and it's the hardcore United standards. If he were to lose tomorrow, he should be out of a job on Monday. And I don't want that, and I know a lot of you don't want that. But if he was to lose tomorrow, he would have to be sacked. You can't be losing at home to Brighton and being 13 points off 4th place. You just can't do that. You can't. So I think we'll win tomorrow. I think the encouraging things for United is that Rashford with Martial back looks a better player. Martial looks very, very good. The defence don't concede many goals. So as long as the midfield is operating well tomorrow, I think we will win. Sell Pogba and sign Maddison and Fernandes. #January, says Harold Dreyer. Hey, mate, I'd like to see it happen, but it won't. Praveen Thomas says, which top player would want to play under Ollie? We should get a top-class manager. As of now, history of the club is the only thing that can attract players apart from money. Interesting point. And Simon Cliff, evening Simon, he says, I'm not Ollie out. Why? Because that won't change the cycle of failure, which is down to the hierarchy above him. Woodward mismanaged over 900 million in 6 years. In another business, he'd be done for fraud. Simon, I'm not going down that road tonight. I got very angry last night and still people disagreed with me. But I do agree with you. I feel good tonight. And I just want to say as well, everybody, real big shout out to you lot. I'm really enjoying the show tonight. It's funny how some shows just make you feel really like you enjoy what you're doing, and I'm enjoying the show, so thanks everybody. Make sure you smash a like on the video. I am really enjoying it tonight, and I don't think we're being shouty outy, we're just talking, aren't we? And sometimes that's the best way. Pepper Ranito says, shout out to my home team El Paso Locomotive in their inaugural season, making it to the semi-finals of their playoff run in the USL, playing right now. Well, there you go, there's your shout out, well done. And Ibrahima John says, hello Mark, Isco seems to have considerably more quality than Maddison and is available for 55 million. Thoughts? I fancy a 3-0 United win tomorrow. I've got no idea what the score will be tomorrow, but I do think we'll win. Isco's a player that Pep would take tomorrow, but Isco at United, I think he'd fail. And let's not forget, Pep wanted Fred and Sanchez. And they both, well, Fred's doing okay. Sanchez flopped. So, yeah, I don't know whether Isco would work at United. I think United have. I mean, going back to Eriksen again, Manchester United have got a very, very bad record with identifiable number 10s. Mata we bought and put him as on the wing and wasted him. Kagawa, we wasted him. Eriksen is that sort of player. So United don't have a really good record with number 10s. Marcus Kverven says, when Football Manager 20 comes out, try to see if you can do a better job than Ollie. I'm already doing it on FIFA 20, mate. Make sure you watch it on That's Football. And Shim Shonda Singh says, with all the news about United getting sold, and if it really happens, do you think the Glazers will spend money to buy new players in January? Look, I don't think United are going to be sold. Maybe I'm being a little bit reverse psychology, but I don't think United are going to be sold. I think that I was saying this about Arsenal as well when I was watching the Leicester game. The parallels between United and Arsenal are quite similar. I think Emery's a better manager than Ollie, but they want him out. I think their playing squad is the same as ours. It's got good people on paper, but no backbone. And they've got a bad owner, and we've got a bad owner. But I think Arsenal's owners are better than ours. And somebody asked the question, who do you think is going to get back on top first, Arsenal or United? And I said, well, the advantage United have got is that we've got the bigger fan base, we've got the bigger revenue stream, so we can spend our way out of trouble anytime we want to if we've got the right people in. The problem is, I don't think our owners really want to spend their way out of trouble, and two, we haven't got the right people in charge. So Arsenal, if they actually stumbled on the right man, and let's not forget, Brendan Rodgers has got Leicester in the top 4. Frank Lampard has got Chelsea in the top 4 with a transfer ban and no Eden Hazard. So when you look at the Chelsea and Leicester situation, it's not that strong. If Arsenal sack Emery and get a manager in like a Brendan Rodgers or like a Unai Emery, like a Frank Lampard, they could get back where Leicester and Chelsea are. I don't see us doing it because I think the ownership structure is set up for failure. Shout out the Glazers for sinking the Titanic, says Kvarmal KJ Kudami. Hey Mark, do you think Chelsea on paper is better than Manchester United? How is Frank getting the best out of Chelsea? Says Rowan Jamba. Very good question. And my answer would be this. I think that Chelsea's midfield is better than Manchester United's midfield. And I think United have naively walked into a trap this season. I know for a fact that the club thought they had a really good summer. And I know for a fact that the club couldn't understand why there was so much negativity in the summer from the fans, and they really felt they were going to prove the fans wrong, this season. They went into it, the publicity coming out into the press from Manchester United in the summer, absolute 100% fact, no bullshit, was we're really happy, we're really positive, we've had a really good tour, we've had a good summer transfer window, and we think we're going to have a good season. That's what United expected. I ain't got a problem telling you that because you all know it anyway. You read it everywhere. But they've been proven wrong, and that's scary because that shows you who's in charge of our football club. They genuinely thought they were coming into the season and we were going to have a good season. Despite the fact many of you sat there with us saying we're going to have a bad season, and many other outlets did as well. So the reason Chelsea are better than Manchester United is because they've got a better manager, they've got a better style of play, but most important of all, they've got depth in their midfield. Games are won and lost in the midfield. I never liked Fellaini, but he played a lot of games. He started a lot of games. So when we sold Fellaini, I rejoiced, but we should have replaced him. Not for Fellaini. I didn't want that style of footballer, but he was a first teamer when he was fit. So we needed to replace him. Herrera was definitely a first teamer. We never replaced him. We let 2 first team midfielders walk out the door and we didn't replace them. And we went into a season with the midfield that we've got that's not good enough. Pogba got injured, our best midfielder. That leaves us even weaker. And then you're left with a midfield, and whether you like McTominay or Fred or Pereira or Lingard or Matic, it doesn't matter whether you like them. The reality is, in the case of Pereira, Fred and McTominay, they are potential. They are not good every week. They are potential. And you can't go into a season as Manchester United Football Club with a midfield that's potential. You've got to have quality. You play 1 potential and you have 2 quality. We've been playing 3 potential. It's not good enough. And you look at Chelsea, they've got 6 midfielders. They've got Kovacic, who's proven. He played for Real Madrid. You've got Kante, one of the best midfielders in the world. You've got Jorginho, who's a very good midfielder. You've got Mount, who's potential. You've got Ross Barkley, who, is good / potential. And you've got Loftus-Cheek potential. So they've got very, very good depth in their midfield, Chelsea, and games are won and lost in the midfield. Doesn't matter whether you're playing in the morning on your pub, down the pub with your Dog and Duck FC, or you're playing Man City, Liverpool. Midfield is where the game's won and lost, and United's midfield isn't good enough. And I've said it so many times, we will miss not signing Bruno Fernandes and another midfielder every weekend of this Premier League season. How do we get to have a chat with you on the United Stand? Shout out from South Africa, hashtag Rugby World Cup Champions. That's from Jean Gomez. You don't get one now because you beat us in the final. But get yourself down to the United Stand Christmas party. I can't tell you enough. When we had the meet-up in London, I spoke to everybody who was there. So if you can get yourself to the United Stand Christmas party, we'll do the bit on the stage. We'll have the DJ. We'll have a great time. But I will get around and talk to everybody as well. That's what we do at the United Stand meetup. So get yourself down there. Links in the video description. Get your ticket. Get up there and meet the community that's behind the United Stand. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking everyone in the live comments as well. It'll be a fantastic night. Get yourself down. Zayn Mayasi says, Mark, Steve Bruce is coming in for Arsenal to be assistant and Emery's translator. Look, Zayn's an Arsenal fan. He's bitter tonight. We've got to be careful as United fans ourselves, though, because you can't mock Arsenal too much. I think if Arsenal had lost away to Norwich, I would laugh my head off. But I watched that Leicester game tonight. They're better than us. They're better than Spurs and they're better than Arsenal. They've beaten Spurs and Arsenal. They lost to us at Old Trafford. But we watched that game against Leicester. They were a little bit unfortunate. Without that penalty, we wouldn't have scored. Matic is gone in January. We need 3 midfielders, says Ash MUFC. Yeah, we do. We definitely do. Is it too early to say whether Lampard is better than Ollie, says Adam Lana? I don't think it's too early. I mean, are you scared to say that? Does that make you not a United fan? Does that make you an Ollie outer? No, I think it's a fact. Lampard's better than Solskjaer. There's no doubt in my mind. He's got a philosophy. He's got a style of play. He's successful. And the thing about Lampard is it's not a surprise. I saw him come to Old Trafford with Derby and play Mourinho off the pitch. So this is a manager with a vision that isn't going to be steered away from his vision, that has a clear path of where he wants to be and stands by it. And as I said with Chelsea, they've not had it all their own way this season. They got beat 4-0 on the opening day of the season. I bet there was a few Chelsea fans thinking, oh. But I watched that game and Chelsea played very well. And, a 4-0 flattered us. And we're living off that 4-0 because that 4 goal difference is what keeps us above a lot of teams in the league because we've got a good goal difference compared to most mid-table clubs, because we've got positive goal difference because of that 4-0 win. And, you know, they were 2-0 up at home to Sheffield United and they drew 2-2. Well, at the time, people were like, that's a disaster. Sheffield United are crap. As we know, Sheffield United are quite good. So it's not been easy. It's not been an easy ride for Lampard, but they've got a vision and he's doing a good job. And unlike Ollie, he didn't come in with a certain philosophy and change his mind. I'll never understand why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stopped playing the 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder. It's what got him the job, and he just seems reluctant to go and do it again. Abrima John says, hello Mark, Carnavaninga is a star midfielder who's 16. Would him, Hussein Ore and Bruno Fernandes midfield be a brilliant and competitive midfield for United? Abrima John, you're probably talking about players there that many people don't even know about. And the problem is, I've got no faith in Manchester United signing players from Europe. I think we're signing Brexit FC players from the Premier League because that's what we know. I think we're scared to sign players from abroad because Fred flopped. And Fred was a dangerous signing. I mean, Shakhtar the next. It's a dangerous signing for United, that. Brazil, we've got a bad history with Brazilian players as well. You can't not sign players from Europe because you know Fred was a bit of a mistake. Or was he a mistake? Maybe he's not. I believe we will score 5 tomorrow. You heard it from me, says Sajid Akram. I hope you're right, Sajid. I hope you're right. What we need tomorrow is positivity. We're going into an international break for 2 weeks. We need something positive tomorrow. And Brighton have had a week off. You know what? I don't think we'll beat them 5-0 because we couldn't beat Partizan 5-0. But I do think we'll win. I think we will. The thing with Manchester United is, and I don't think I've said this before. The thing with United is, they're trapped. They're absolutely trapped. If they sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they know there will be absolute outrage. Not because it's wrong to sack Ole because he's bad, but because the anger in the fan base if they sack Ole, for many reasons, fourth manager, board make another mistake, sacking a legend, whatever, it will go off. So they are reluctant to sack. They're scared to sack Ole. So United, everybody within Manchester United in power is basically on their hands and knees praying to whatever God they have that this works out, because they can't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It has to work, which is why they're talking about 3 years and future, because they know at the moment this is awful. It's worse than Mourinho. It's worse than Van Gaal. Is it worse than Moyes? They know it's sackable, but they can't sack him because he protects them. And the minute they sack him, they know the fans will go in on them, and they're terrified to do that. So United's only hope is resurrection from this situation under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's the only hope, and I know that's not what many fans want to hear, but that is the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, and the truth is they don't want to sack him, not because of what's going on the pitch, not because maybe he deserves to be sacked. They don't want to sack him because they know it will expose them, and they want to protect themselves, and we're not run like a football club. Ali has no ideas. He relies on McKenna. You can see it in training and match picks, says Daniel. Hey Mark, I think United should loan out Gomez, Chong and Greenwood to a championship club, says YK. I think Gomez and Chong should have gone to championship clubs. I said that in the summer. Again, I just think they are being wasted, and we'll never find out whether they're good enough just by training with the first team. Hot. Anyway, look, it's Saturday night. I don't want to take you away too long from your own Saturday nights. Massive game tomorrow. Make sure you join us for the watch along. I'm very excited about it. I don't know what to expect from it. I don't know what to expect from Brighton, but I am very, very excited about it. And I just want to say as well, look, if you can get yourself up to Manchester on the 5th of December, get yourself up there. It's going to be a fantastic evening. I can't wait to meet many of you there, as can Flex and Rants and everybody else involved in the channel. We'll do a bit of a live United Stand show. We're going to do the end of year awards where you'll be voting for them. There'll be a disco. We're right next to Old Trafford. We can do photos and everything like that. Meet and greets. It's Christmas. It's been a difficult year, but the United stand keeps going from strength to strength because of people like you. I'm sure we're going to get people flying in from Europe and for everything. It's right before the Manchester derby. There's a Christmas market in Manchester. Get yourself over. Let's have a really good night and let's celebrate something, because it's not been a great year, but the United stand is a fantastic community and I want to see as many of you there as you can get there. So get on the link in the video description. You get a free drink on arrival. I really want to see you there. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon.